Ever wondered how you can use the power of the sun to charge your devices? It's not as far-fetched as it may sound. In fact, it's entirely possible and more accessible than you might think. Welcome to the fascinating world of solar power. Solar power, in its simplest explanation, is energy from the sun. It's a renewable, clean source of energy. And best of all, it's free. Imagine harnessing the power of the sun, the most abundant source of energy on our planet, to power your devices. No more worrying about running out of battery or finding a power outlet. Now, let's talk about solar-powered chargers. They're devices that use solar panels to convert sunlight into electricity, which can then be stored and used to charge your devices. The great part? You can make one at home. Today, we're going to show you how to harness the power of the sun and create your own solar-powered charger. To start with, gather the necessary materials. First up is the solar panel. This is the heart of our project, converting sunlight into electricity. Next, we need a battery. This will store the power generated by the solar panel for use when the sun isn't shining. Then we have the diode. It's a small but crucial component that allows electricity to flow in one direction and prevents it from going back to the solar panel. Our next item is a USB car charger. This will be used to connect your devices to the system and charge them. We also need some wires to connect all these components together. Make sure they're thick enough to handle the current. Lastly, we need a box. It can be any old box, but it should be big enough to house all the components comfortably and protect them from the elements. With these materials on hand, we're ready to start building. Now, the real fun begins. It's time to construct our solar charger. To begin with, we have our solar panel and battery. The solar panel generates electricity from sunlight, and the battery stores this energy. But how do we connect these two components? We use a diode and some wires. Think of the diode as a one-way street for electricity. It allows the current to flow from the solar panel to the battery, but not the other way around. This prevents the battery from discharging back into the solar panel when the sun isn't shining. To connect everything, locate the positive and negative terminals on the solar panel and the battery. The positive terminal is usually marked with a plus sign and the negative with a minus. Connect the diode to the positive terminal of the solar panel. Make sure the striped end of the diode is facing away from the panel and towards the battery. Next, attach one end of your wire to the other end of the diode and the other end of the wire to the positive terminal of the battery. For the negative terminal, simply connect a wire directly from the solar panel to the battery. Now, let's incorporate the USB car charger. This is what allows us to charge our devices with the solar charger. Connect the positive terminal of the USB charger to the positive terminal of the battery and do the same for the negative terminals. Safety is paramount, so always remember to wear protective gear when working with electricity and never work in wet conditions as water conducts electricity and can lead to accidents. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. We've connected the solar panel to the battery using a diode and wires, and we've connected the USB car charger to the battery. We've also discussed important safety measures to keep in mind while working. The skeleton of our solar charger is now ready, but we're not done yet. Scene script. Next, we're going to assemble everything inside our box. Now, this is where the magic happens, where the individual parts come together to form our solar-powered charger. Start by placing your components inside the box. It's like fitting pieces into a puzzle. You've got your battery, your charge controller, and your inverter. Each component has its own place. The battery, which stores the energy, goes in first. Next, set the charge controller. It regulates the power from the solar panel, ensuring the battery doesn't overcharge. Lastly, place your inverter, which converts the stored energy into usable power for your devices. Now, it's not just about placing these components inside the box. It's also about securing them properly. You wouldn't want your components jiggling around, causing potential damage or even worse, short circuits. So, take your time here. Make sure everything is snug and secure. using foam or other insulating materials if necessary. Once everything is in place, we move on to the star of the show, the solar panel. This is our power plant, the piece that's going to capture sunlight and convert it into electricity. The placement of the solar panel is crucial to the efficiency of our charger. It needs to be positioned in a way that it receives maximum sunlight. Think about the path of the sun across the sky. You want your panel to face the sun directly as much as possible. If you're in the northern hemisphere, aim it towards the south. If you're in the southern hemisphere, aim it towards the north. And remember, the sun's path changes with the seasons, so you might need to adjust the position of your panel throughout the year. And there you have it. We've placed our components, secured them for safety, and positioned our solar panel for maximum efficiency. We've transformed a simple box into a powerful tool that can harness the power of the sun. Our solar charger is now assembled and ready to harness the power of the sun. The sun's energy is now at our fingertips, ready to charge our devices anytime, anywhere. It's a small step towards a sustainable future, and you've made it possible. Finally, it's time to test our creation. To ensure that our solar-powered charger is functioning properly, we'll need a device that's low on battery. Connect the device to the charger using a suitable cable. Place the charger in direct sunlight and monitor the device's charging status. Remember, the strength of the sunlight will affect the charging speed. Now, let's recap the steps we took to build this eco-friendly gadget. We began with gathering the necessary materials, which included solar panels, a battery, a charge controller, and a few other electronic components. Then we moved on to building the solar charger, ensuring all the connections were secure and the panels were appropriately aligned. After that, we assembled the charger, placing all the components in a sturdy casing for protection. And there you have it, a DIY solar-powered charger. Now you can charge your devices using the power of the sun.